see. Next, we have Cheryl Jules, the aunt of Nicole Gee.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for letting us have a voice here. You know, everything they've already said is something that echoes within all of us. This last 3 years has been a nightmare that if you've never lost a child, you wouldn't understand. You know, our kids, the 13 that were killed, weren't the first ones to be killed in the Afghanistan war, and they're not going to be the last ones. You know, the Taliban didn't get the memo that the war was over. It's not going to end. We have an open border. They're coming. They're coming for us. It's never going to end. But the failures that happened that led up to this are unconscionable. And everybody that says we're being played, we're pawns, all these other things, it's not, this is, for us is not political. None of us asked to be put in this position. You know, this is just where we're at. Our kids were killed and we want answers. And for the first 2 years in a Democratic run House, there was no investigation. It wasn't until the Republicans took office and Chairman McCall started opening these investigations that we started actually getting answers. We didn't ask to be put in this position. We're not trying to be political. We just want answers. You know, we get so many comments from so many veterans for a 20-year war, people who up until that end of this war, until August 31st, that said, you know what, I lost a leg, I lost an arm, I lost 2 legs, half of my face. They all said it was worth something because they believed that they were making a better country. They were giving people and women and children and little girls a chance of having peace and freedom, the things that we all take for granted. And they thought it was worth something. When this war ended, it was all thrown away. We left thousands behind. The 100 that they claim that were left behind, we're still pulling them out. And it's despicable. You know, people who started out 16 years old, the United States came in, promised them a better life. They wound up growing up, getting married, having children, having wives that went to school, making better lives. They became doctors and engineers. And we promised them, if you help us, we're going to give you these SIV visas. When we left there, we left them all behind. There was literally no concern left for any of them. We barely had any concern for getting our State Department out of the embassy, much less boots on the ground who are there protecting them. There was no concern for any of this. It was just a hardline, self-imposed decision to end this war on the 31st with no rhyme or reason. It wasn't because President Trump with this Doha agreement, that's one of the things we hear. All the tenets of that agreement were already off the table. And the agreement was, if they did these things, we would leave. And they didn't do them. The Taliban did not follow through on that. And I would hope that anybody who says we're being played or this is political, read this report. Just read it. It'll take you all through everything. And thank God, Chairman, you have opened up these investigations and got us some of these answers, because we've been screaming from the rooftops for 3 years. You know, if we can't face the mistakes we made as a country, you know, we're not perfect. We understand that these changes were happening rapidly, but admit that there was a lot that was going on and we didn't have all the answers and we were going with the flow and trying to change things as they went. Admit that, admit the faults we made and make corrections, because we can't have another Saigon and another Benghazi and another, you know, Kabul. We can't have that keep happening. We've got thousands, millions of men and women, our kids around this country that are believing that this government has their back. And in this instance, they did not. Their only concern was leaving by August 31st at any cost. And we just can't have that. And it's unfortunate that it's turned into this big political thing between Republicans and Democrats. And we've been attacked, frankly. We've been attacked by people with death threats, everything else, saying we're being played in pawns and all this stuff. But, you know, the reality is we haven't been reached out to, not at all, by this administration. They want it to go away. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to face it. And if they can't face it and admit the mistakes, it's not going to change. And we're going to have more kids coming home in flag-draped caskets. And we just need to make some changes. This can't continue to happen. That's what I have to say. And thank you for listening. Next is Tim Burchett. Thank you.